Hey guys, so I'm doing yet another video on where I'm going to do full map breakdowns. I'm going to go through the defenses. A lot of you guys seem to like these, so I'm going to try to do one map at a time. I'm probably going to try to cover all of the comp maps just because they seem to be the maps that most people are going to end up playing. But to begin with, here I'm going to go over basically how to hold AV, and I'm going to go through the reinforcements and stuff just like I do in my other videos where I just break down the map, explain how to defense and stuff like that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so before I go through the operators and stuff like that, I'm going to start by showing you guys the reinforcements that I suggest for this site, and I'll explain and everything like that. So here we go. First, you're going to reinforce the AV walls here. Third from the left wall here. Vault wall here. Pool table walls here. Bar walls here. And lastly, the right games wall. You're leaving this one open. I did a terrible job making a hole here. But there's going to be a rotate here, and they're going to reinforce this other wall off later. I'll explain like the entire thing later on. But yeah, you're basically only going to start off by reinforcing just this wall. Now that I got the reinforcements done for this site, I'm going to explain what you do and the operators that I think you should be running here. For the 5 operators that I suggest running on the AV site, they're going to be Jaeger, Wamai, Goyo, Smoke, and Cade. Basically, the whole strat here behind these 5 operators is you're going to be playing on the main stairs, and you want to basically just have shields and just a whole bunch of utility the other team has to burn, and just try to waste as much time as possible, because a lot of times in rank people try to push the study, and sometimes in comp. So you just want to make sure you have the shield and stuff, but I'll explain where all those go. But first, for the setups, we're going to be showing you Cade, so I'll just show you where his 2 Cade calls go, and pretty much you're going to be playing. So your first Cade call is going to be going here. The reason that you don't want to put it in Vault itself is because sometimes people tend to nade over the wall to try to destroy what's on the wall. So like they'll end up destroying your Cade. You're cading off this Vault wall, by the way. But the reason that you put it here is just so that it's able to get the wall without like being as exposed to a grenade potentially over the wall, or like if they Maverick to try to find it. It's just gonna be a little bit harder for them to find because you have it here on the Vault door instead of having it on the actual Vault wall itself or anywhere it's exposed to if they do try to nade or anything like that through Vault. Your second Cade is gonna go here. Sorry, it's covered by a little bit of debris. But the reason that you want it here is just because it can get all 3 walls at once. So for both pushes, any type of push, usually people try to open up this right AV wall, and with that Cade Claw, it makes it a little bit easier to play inside of AV still, even if they do open up that left panel. As for this one, it's just a little bit overall just a better pick for Cades. And for positioning, you're going to start here in 90. The reason I want you in 90 is because, for one, you have the 1.5 sight, and you're the only person on the team currently that does have it. So the reason I want you in 90 is just to shoot drones and identify if a push is coming from the other side of the map, trophy, like statue side. So basically, you're here as like an early deterrent for the enemy team, so your teammates can rotate utility, which I'll explain later. But basically, you're just sitting in here shooting drones, and if they do end up taking top main, you're still in a prime position to swing them if they do try to come down this classical hallway and take any gunfight, because hopefully either you'll have the camera up still or you'll just have your teammates calling out that they're close to the door, so you're in a position to swing them, and you do have the optimal line of sight to do this and the optical scope. Okay, so the next operator that I'm going to be covering is going to be Goyo. Your setup here is pretty simple and as well as your job, but for starters, let me show you what you're going to be playing. Your first square shield you're going to put is here. The reason that you want it here is just because, like, for normal reasons. If anyone's trying to come through that AV door, if they're able to take study control, you're going to have a shield in a position to play where they're going to either be forced to use utility or contest you from an unoptimal angle or fight. See, they're pushing in, you have your little holes here, you can peek off from the side, the top, everything like that. For your second Goyo show, you're going to be placing it here on main stairs. Same reason, just another optimal, like, more optimal gunfight for yourself and utility that they have to burn. For your starting position, you're going to be playing here on the main stairs. There's going to be a shield here from Smoke. I'm like the only person here. But basically, from your position with Smoke, you're just going to be here, like on the main stairs, fighting really much your demons. Just kind of preventing people from just walking up your other players' main stairs will ultimately be your own my, which I'll explain. But yeah, your starting position is going to be here on the main stairs, and just basically helping them for anyone's pushing below. Maybe someone he's getting over contested from people inside, you're able to walk up, that kind of thing. But yeah. The next operator that I'm going to be covering is Wamai. Your job is relatively simple. I'll be showing you where you're playing. So, for starters, you're going to be here on the main stairs. For your first 2 Wamai, you're free to do whatever you want with them. I suggest putting one up here just because, somewhere really high. And your second starting one going here just so you can help out your Goyos and be playing on the main stairs. Basically, your position here is just honestly to waste time and burn as much utility as possible. The reason that you're running these impacts is for later on, if you do get pushed off here, you're forced back. If they do end up somehow destroying the cage as well, you're able to impact trick the wall for whether it's Aces, Habanas, or Thermites. So basically, yeah, your job here is really just to fend off main stairs and just burn a little bit of time, shoot a couple drones. If you're able to kill someone, that's perfect. That's more than enough, and you've done all that you need to do to leave. But like I said, you're not playing here for kills. You're playing this position just to burn utility and burn time, and then rotate back if needed to and impact trick the wall. Next, I'm going to be showing you the job of the smoke. Your job here is one of the harder jobs, and I'm not going to lie. It's one of the more like time-oriented jobs, so you're probably not going to end up reinforcing. But for your job, you're going to be making holes here for rotation, here for a line of sight really, and also an opportunity to throw your smokes from the other bomb site if needed. Here, to watch for your Goyo and Wamai's main stairs walk up. Here, for the rotation from main stairs to site. And here, to watch pretty much the front door walk in for anyone trying to come through the main door. You're going to be placing your shield here so your Goyo has a place to play behind, for anyone challenging from downstairs. And your starting position will be here. Basically, you're going to be watching and helping your Goyo. If anyone's trying to walk up his main stairs, you're in a good position to kind of tag them up a bit, soften them up for the Goyo. Hopefully, you guys can combine some shots and kill somebody. If anyone does try to challenge these main stairs, obviously, you're not inclined to stand here and hold a stationary angle because you probably will get pre-fired. But if you can, on and off to these angles, just trying to kill people walk up his main stairs, that'd help a bunch. And lastly, the job of the Jaeger here, I'll be showing you. Basically, I'll show you replaying stuff, but for your starting ADSs, I suggest that you put them here on top main to assist the Wamai with the burn, here on the main stairs to assist the Goyo with his shield, and here on the aviator door to assist the shield for the other Goyo shield that will end up being there, and placing your barbed wire here on the AV door for anyone trying to walk in, and here to slow down people trying to walk up the stairs so for your smoke to be able to shoot them, and your Goyo to have a little bit early detection for anyone trying to sneak up a staircase. Lastly, your starting position is going to be about here on the red stairs. I'd recommend that you barricade these two doors just because you don't have to deal with it. But basically, just like the cage, you're going to be a little bit of early detection for anyone pushing on the other side. A little bit of deterrent, really. You're shooting drones, and I'd recommend if you know that they're pushing the side, honestly, either running back into sight or just going down red and coming back up main. Basically, from this position here, you're able to hold a line of sight to help with the smoke or anyone who ends up playing on the shield and vault. For anyone trying to walk through the AV doorway, you're in a position where you can kind of play really far back and still get a good angle. Just a little pixel peek and just take anybody out if they're trying to push the door. Alright, now that we're done with the AV site, we're going to be covering the trophy statuary site. Before I get into the operators and breakdown again, I'm going to show you guys the 10 starting reinforcements that I suggest. Alright, so for 2 free reinforcements going on the games wall facing towards study, 2 walls on the AV wall facing study, 3 walls on the statuary wall facing towards bedroom, 1 wall on the Astro wall facing towards trophy, and 2 walls on the master walls facing towards the closet. Now that I got the reinforcements out of the way, the 5 operators that I do suggest running on this site are Jaeger, Mute, Mozzie, Cade, and Valk. Basically, for this strategy, there's going to be 2 operators roaming on the other side of the map. Basically, well, not the other side of the map, but inside of Trophy AV. What's called, inside of AV games. Basically, they're going to be over there. It's going to just be trying to burn time and stuff like that. But the main hold obviously is still going to be this site. So basically, they're just over there to burn drones, burn utility, that kind of thing, and rotate back. But now that I've covered the 5 operators, I'm going to get into the first one that I do recommend playing, which is Valkyrie, and I'll be showing you your setup now. So for camera positions, it's pretty adjustable. It's really a lot of personal preference, but I like to have camera at least in master and in bathroom, master or bathroom, sometimes both. But I'm going to show you the 3 cams that I have. The first one's going to be up here inside of the master bathroom above the tub. The next one's going to be here in master. I put it there. It's kind of hard to do variety with master cameras, I'm not going to lie. I just figured that this one was just to be a decent one to help with trying to deny and stuff like that from below. It's just without being in the typical spots, which usually go here or under this dresser stuff. Just trying to try to mix this one up a bit because master cams seem to be spotted the easiest. And the next one's going to be here. It's just a camera so they're able to see if anyone's playing on this red statue door or on red staircase. It's just like I said, it's just another camera that you can use. I don't know. This camera can be mixed up a bunch if you want more to be seen. Just a lot of people throw it under here, so I just try to get this on a little bit of variety. But your starting position is going to be about here in the deep basement. Basically, you're going to start off just by rotating cameras and trying to figure out what kind of push you're facing against. And usually if teams do a direct take into Master, they tend to clear out Kitchen for any players playing both for Nitro Cells. So you're going to be playing really just the flank game and the late game for the Nitro Cell. So basically, you're either going to wait for them to clear out of Kitchen or play for them to be in Kitchen, walk up the pantry staircase here, and just try to sneak behind the people and get a kill. Or if they don't end up clearing below for some reason, you're able to play inside of kitchen with your nitro cell and deny anyone playing inside of master with the cams that you do have for both master and bathroom. And if needed, you can honestly rotate all the way up the red stairs as well and go nitro cell people inside of study if your Mozzie and mute find themselves in a predicament where they're not able to escape because a certain player is holding a line of sight of them or something like that. But in reality, yeah, as Valkyrie, you're gonna be like pretty much the deep roamer on this site where you're playing for your nitro cell and trying to see if you can deny plants or get any early picks with your nitro. Next operator I'm going to be covering is Cade. Your job here is also relatively easy. For starters, I don't even have to jump cut here because I'm right by the wall. You're going to be throwing your Cades up here, the first one being on the far right side on top, and the other one being on the left side. You want to have these exact positions because with those two Cades, you're able to get all three panels of the wall. These are also referred to as the impossible Cades because playing them from below is sometimes rather tricky to shoot. Only a small part of them stick out, and it's really hard to play, especially if you're playing against Ash, who's going below to try to find these. More often than not, she's looking on the wall to try to see if she can see anything on the wall, so it's really hard to detect. Also, for anybody playing inside of this doorway here, it's near impossible to see. You can only kind of just see the right one, but you can't see the left one at all. You have to full extend and try to get the left one, and usually people want to get this left wall because it's more opportune instead of trying to get the right wall, just because when you're playing on when the right wall's open, you're still able to play in a pretty big area unscathed as much as where on the left wall you get full access all the way to trophy. And for your starting position, you're just really trying to stay by this wall here. You have your nitro cell if needed to nitro over into master. You're also kind of the first line of defense against people trying to rush through the master door here, so you want to be able to play in this position pretty well with your sights and just playing the bomb and stuff like that. But yeah, playing Kate here is relatively easy. You're pretty much going to stick to master the entire round and just burn as much time as you can. And if they're pushing you, just keep the wall closed and shoot drones, like Twitch drones, if they're trying to find your Cades and things like that. But yeah. All right. So the next operator that I'm gonna be covering is Mozzie. You have a pretty simple job. You're gonna be holding the other side right about here. These AV walls are gonna be reinforced. Pretty much you and the mute are gonna be playing over on this side of the map. Basically, what you're doing is burning drones with your Mozzie pets that you're putting on the study door, the AV door, and I suggest putting one over the vault, like drone hole here. Basically, you should be playing in this room to just burn time and stuff like that. Basically, just shoot drones, make the other team use utility on you because this wall is going to be muted and stuff like that. Basically, yeah, like I said, you're just gonna be over here just to burn time and try to make the other team like force a lot of utility at you to try to kill you guys, but you're really not playing here to kill or anything like that. You're just playing to burn time and leave. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty simple. So yeah, you're gonna be right about here. Basically, your job here is Mozzie is really just to burn time. If they don't end up pushing you, you're able to, with the mute, rotate down with Valkyrie because all three of you guys have nitro cells and are able to kind of rain a parade inside of people on Master. Obviously, one of you guys can just rotate back to side if you want to. But if you guys both want to go below and use Valkyrie's intel that you do have to try to get some nitro kills on people pushing into Master, or help her if there's people in kitchen, help you can go down with mute and help her clear out people sitting in kitchen. But basically, your job over here is just to burn time. Try not to play for kills because you're not really going for them. You're really just over here just to burn time in drones and utility and then leave. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Your job is mute. Mozzie's pretty simple. Next, I'm going to be covering the job of the mute. Basically, you're going to be putting your 4 mute devices here for the bar wall, here for the AV wall, here on the brick store or the statue door leading to master, and here on the bathroom door or the Astra door leading to bathroom. You're gonna be making your holes here on the wall here, like I don't know what it's called. It's like the single wall that splits between sites. Just so because you can have a line of sight for here or people pushing there, either your nitro, that kind of thing. The next hole you're gonna be making is here on the astro wall for a rotate. You're also going to add a hole here on the left side. Basically, the reason that you reinforce just a single wall, by the way, is since you want to have multiple angles that you can play if they do end up pushing the other side of the map. It also works both ways for people playing in here. You can watch the bathroom door pretty easy, and you're still not exposed to anyone playing on the Astro Repel per se, or coming up the Astro stairs. You really just it's pretty hard angle to challenge if you're not really aware that you're here. Because a lot of times when people come into this room, they have to clear boxes, the desk, and then they're usually watching the rotate hole. So when you push in, you don't recognize the angle immediately. It can sometimes get you killed, and you're also walking into a pretty unfavorable angle no matter how you look at it, just because it can be really deep from where they hold it, and just overall, it's just a really good angle because you can't afford to just check this angle due to the fact that there's so many other places people can play, uh, even here, for example. So it's just another line of sight to prevent them from walking the bathroom door. And your last hole is going to go here as a rotate. Well, not last two holes, I should say, because you're going to have one here as a rotate for you, and you're playing over here with Mozzie. You guys going to be able to rotate back and forth. You're also going to have this wall open as well, just because like I just include no jump tip, because like if you want to go to 90 per se, the hatch is open, that kind of thing. You want to just dip out without having, you're not able to go through that door over there on red. Just another alternative way to escape sight, or escape, not sight, escape statue and bar and rotate out. And lastly, you're going to be playing here. In bar, you have basically the same job as Mozzie. You're just burning drones, shooting drones. If you want to, you can make like holes here for floor angles so people can't walk down your hallways comfortably. But yeah, you're pretty much just going to be playing here inside a bar, just burning drones in time, and make the other team have to like worry about you. Say they like use utility to burn off your mutes and destroy this wall. You've already done your job. You made them use hard breaching and some kind of utility to destroy the mute. And basically, yeah, like I said, just wasting time and stuff like that with the Mozzie. Last but not least, we're going to be covering the job of the Jaeger. For starters, you're going to be putting your three ADSs here on the master door, just so they have to use utilities. Because say you have a player, your Cade decides to get a little aggressive and play close to the door, they're going to have to, if they're trying to use utility to kill him, it's going to get caught and give the Cade the indicator to back up. Here on the bomb chest, the reason that you want it here is because, for one, it can't be seen from the doorway, and two, if they try to throw any grenades over to try to destroy the Cades, which, by the way, will not be destroyed by grenades over the wall, because some people seem to think that that works. But if they do try to throw anything over the wall, your Cade's going to be protected by this ADS here. And lastly, here, this one is just like for obvious reasons. Anyone trying to throw utility inside of Astro is going to be denied, at least for a bigger ADS here. Your barbed wire is going to go here. This is just because Cade's pretty much like one of the only people on site to begin with around. Just an early indicator for anyone trying to push through the Astro here, and your southern piece of barbed wire is going to be here on the Astro stairs for anyone trying to sneak up the Cade's or for anyone who's trying to sneak up to this Astro staircase. They'd be kind of slowed and give a sound indicator. Your starting position as Jaeger is going to be right about here. You're kind of a floater in this strat. You're not on site, but you're not off site per se. For example, if your Mozzie and Mute need help, you can rotate down into their 90 or play their top red. You're pretty much in a position to kind of float back and forth if they need help. If, say your Cade's being overpressured, you're only one or two steps back into sight. You can play those angles that I talked about earlier that are here, where you can watch the bathroom door, or you can help the Cade with his master door swing. Really up to you guys as long as you can communicate that. But yeah, Jaeger here, you're kind of floating. You're not really roaming, but you're roaming. Alright, time for the final site that I'm going to be covering today, which is going to be kitchen dining. Before I get into the operators and the breakdown and like how you're going to be playing this, I'm going to be covering the 10 reinforcements that I suggest. Here on the master wall, these 3 reinforcements that is. Here on the memorial walls. Here on the dining walls facing towards laundry. Here on the kitchen wall facing towards pantry. Here on the china wall facing towards bottom staircase of Astra. I don't know what that room is called, I'm not gonna lie. And here on the other china room wall facing towards dining, make sure that it's the middle one, because that is the one that I prefer. Now that I got the reinforcement out of the way, I'm going to be breaking down the operators that should be running for this site. The operators that I suggest are Pulse, Mozzie, Mute, Vigil, and Malusi. These operators all have their own purpose, but basically the starting idea is that Mozzie, Vigil are going to be upstairs, just to try to burn time and stuff like that. The other operators, which could be a site, which are going to be the Pulse, Malusi, and the Mute, basically going to be trying to nitro cell people who are pushing them upstairs. If they don't push them upstairs, the Mozzie and the Vigil can obviously make holes to knock plants from above because they're not being pressured. But yeah, that's the kind of the starting idea. For the original setup, I'm just going to start with Pulse. Basically, since I'm already Pulse, your job here is honestly just to sit in sight and Pulse. You're going to identify for anybody pushing outside of laundry, anybody pushing outside the master balcony. You need to feed this intel back to your Mute and Malusi in sight so they can use their 2 nitro cells first for people, say, pushing upstairs in the closet or pushing in bathroom here or pushing inside a master by triple wall, just anything like that. You should be on your pulse scanner. Make sure that make sure that Malusi and Mute use their nitro cells first because it's easier for them instead of you trying to ping somebody, get off the pulse scanner, the nitro cell, because then you don't have the integration anymore and it's kind of a guessing game if that person stood still or not. While if you give the nitro cell, say you tell your Mute to pre-place a nitro cell, you can constantly like, hey, and be like, hey, blow it up now, and boom, there's a kill. But yeah. For the next operator we're going to be talking about is Vigil, just because he has a really easy setup and job. Basically, you're just going to sit upstairs with Mozzie and just shoot drones and burn time. You really aren't playing up here for kills. I cannot emphasize this much, like enough. You are not playing for kills. You're not playing to die up here. You're playing to burn time and shoot drones and burn utility. The only thing that you should or could impact is this Astro rotate, so that when you want to back up, you have a second way of getting an Astro, and just so you have another entry, like an exit and stuff like that. But outside of that, you don't really need to impact anything. Basically, once you shoot, like I'd say probably like 4 to 5 drones, you're free to leave. If they open up your wall, you're free to leave. If they like overuse utility and you're kind of getting pinched out, you're free to leave. You're not playing here to die. For leaving options, I suggest honestly just hopping over this banister here and just rotating back into sight or rotating into library. Like I said, you're not playing there to die. So if you can just vault that banister and you're back inside of this hallway here, you're usually pretty safe to just roam in here. If you keep using your video scanner to give them the idea that maybe like, hey, he might still be upstairs if they don't notice you drop. But you're not obligated to roam up there and die. I cannot emphasize this a million times enough. You do not have to die upstairs. But yeah, next, I'm going to be covering the job of the Mozzie. Just like Vigil, you're playing upstairs, not to die. I cannot emphasize this a million times enough because people are going to think they're up here to die. No, you're up here to live. You're up here to live. But basically, you're going to be spreading your Mozzie pest around upstairs, just anywhere on the doorways where people are coming to drone from. If you want to, these are just 3 suggestion spots. Like, you can put them on the doors facing towards 90 hallways. Well, if you'd like, I just threw down 3 that I suggest. But basically, you're going to be playing upstairs to just burn time and rotate out. Just like Vigil, you can vault over if you need to. If you do get back downstairs, you can ask the Pulse to help you to try to get yourself a Nitro Still kill, because a lot of times people do try to play vertically on this site. So you have the Nitro Still capabilities. The Vigil also has that secondary impact in pocket, so if he wants to make some holes above, like for default plant spots, like, I don't know, I don't have Vigil anymore. But if you want to put one here, just like, because a lot of people type to play it on Tetris or say over by the door on laundry. I just don't have any more impacts, or I don't have any other ways making holes. But yeah, if you just like, you guys can play upstairs, you guys aren't being pressured. But if you are being pressured, you are more than welcome after you shoot like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 drones to just vault over. But you aren't playing up there for kills. If you get a kill, like I said, that's more incentive as well to just hop over and not die. But overall, you're just playing upstairs to burn time and waste utility. Next, we're going to cover the job of the mute. You're going to be placing your 4 mute devices here on the laundry door, here on the pantry wall, here on the china wall, and here on the memo wall. You're also going to be making holes here on top of the laundry slash dining room wall, here on the dining slash memo wall, here on the dining slash china, like as a rotate, here on a dining slash memo rotate. You're going to open up the laundry hatch and the astro hatch. Your job as mute really is probably going to start somewhere in kitchen, where you're basically just be watching for people trying to rush up pantry. You're kind of a first line of defense here. You have a really strong weapon for anyone swinging the door. You can just kind of pump them, hit them with the 1-2 special. But you're also going to be playing off the pulse for any nitro cell kill potential, say for anyone playing inside of the master closet there or anywhere else throughout the site. But yeah, basically you're going to be downstairs with pulse and just kind of help with clearing, getting any kills of people upstairs. Last but not least, we're going to cover the job of the Melusi. For starters, you're going to be placing your Melusis here in dining. It's just to slow people trying to walk through the laundry door here. Here in kitchen, just to slow people trying to come through the pantry door here. And here in memo, just to try to slow people coming through the memorial door here. Your starting position will probably be right here in Memorial, just for early detection and anyone trying to rush you guys through the site. I do recommend barricading this door. Some people don't like to barricade. It's the only reason I kind of have you playing in here, to really be honest. But basically, barricade this door here, and you're going to be playing off the pulse for like the second nitro cell after Mute uses his for anybody pushing upstairs. But yeah, pretty much you should be sitting in sight and trying to nitro cell people above with pulse and try to help up your Mozzie and Vigil who are playing upstairs and burning time. Alright, so that'll be all for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. This is just a full Villa map breakdown for the 3 defensive sites that you should hold. Some people like to only library. I didn't cover it because library is a pretty difficult site and it requires a lot of coordination and teamwork for it to really work. So I just figured to do the 3 like ranked sites that people tend to play. I know you guys have been asking me to do like attacking versions of these, but the only thing I don't like to do about the attacks is that they're really versatile and they can change based on the lineup that you're versing. Also can change due to the bans and stuff like that. I try not to cover off the attacking side of this because it becomes a little bit more complex and requires a little bit of like IGLing and stuff like that. But defenses are pretty easy. But with that being everything I have for you guys today, hope you guys enjoyed. And if you like this video, just like it below. Let me know which map you guys really want me to do next. I was thinking Clubhouse, but if there's another map that you guys really want me to do, then I'll probably do that one instead. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.